In the name of Allah, the God of the entire humanity, whose mercy is profound, whose kindness is everlasting, one of the reasons why there is so much of sectarianism amongst the Muslims is the fact that almost all sects seem to be believing in a statement which is attributed to the Prophet, may Allah's mercy be on him, that he is reported to have said that while the children of Israel had 72 sects, my ummah is going to have 73, and only one of them is going to enter the paradise. And when he was asked as to who those people are going to be, it is reported that he said that they are going to be the people who would follow me and my companions. Each group that has formed itself into a religious sect in Islam do happen to believe that their sect is the right one and that all the rest are doomed. The question is that is this statement really truly the one that could be claimed to have been made by the Prophet? Well, my answer is very clear and simple, that the way it is understood, it couldn't have been said by the Prophet. The reason is that the religion of Islam stands strongly against sectarianism. It expects the believers to be united. The Quran urges the believers to وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا, to hold fast to the rope of Allah and to do it together in a united way. It could not have been possible for the Prophet to have said something that would have ultimately fanned and promoted sectarianism. The fact that there were so many sects and factions in the earlier ummahs, and that this ummah is also going to have a large number of sects, is something which is understandable. But to declare that only people belonging to just one of those sects is going to enter the paradise is something that seems to be most clearly against the mentions of the Quran. Whereas in the Quran we know that the Almighty desires only two requirements for an individual to enter the paradise, and those requirements are to believe properly and to do good acts. Those people who satisfy the condition of innal lazina amanu wa amilus salihat according to the Quran are going to enter the paradise, no matter whatever sect or religion they belong to. Most certainly they will be held responsible for not doing enough in the area of belief or action. But of course the decision to that effect can only be taken by the Almighty, who knows everything. How on earth could it be possible that the all-merciful, all-fair, all-wise God would decide that simply because an individual belongs to one sect and not to the other, that he is going to enter the hell, and that too forever? The Quran itself condemns those people, those earlier nations who broke themselves down into factions. In the Quran, in Surah Al-An'am, Surah 6, verse 159, the Almighty says, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ فَرَّقُوا دِينَهُمْ وَكَانُوا شِيَعًا لَسْتَ مِنْهُمْ فِي شَيْءٍ. O Messenger, those people who broke themselves into different factions and became religious groups, you've got nothing to do with them. In other words, the act of making groups and factions and sects is highly condemnable in Islam, and there is no possibility that the Prophet, may Allah's mercy be on him, could have condoned such a practice. All Muslims are acceptable in the eyes of God, provided they mean well and they do well. And all non-Muslims who would make an attempt to seek the truth, to know what is, and to follow it, would also receive mercy from the Almighty. Those people were trying to emotionally attract others towards their sect simply on the basis of statements like these. Of course, they're not doing any service to the cause of Islam, because all ahadith, all statements attributed to the Prophet, have got to be seen in the light of the Quran. Quran is the ultimate criterion. Any statement which runs contrary to the letter or the spirit of the Quran cannot have ever been made by the Prophet, may Allah's mercy be on him, who himself came to follow the Quran and not to violate it. And anything that suggests that the Prophet did something to that effect cannot be accepted. May the Almighty enable us to understand our religion and the message that the Prophet brought properly, and may He enable us to follow it as best as we can.